Hi, I'm Parente from Golf Laboratories, and I'd like to talk to you today about some commonly used terms in the industry as far as the downswing is concerned that haven't really been quantified. And since what we deal with is numbers and physics and looking at the golf swing from a mathematical standpoint, I'd like to try to quantify them for you and hopefully real world them so that you can understand how it relates to your driver and distance. What we're going to talk about is two terms, casting and lagging. And they're two commonly used terms in the industry, and describe them as such. So you have an address, let's say you release the club so that your left arm in the club is square. That's considered a standard swing, or a swing in which you bring the club head back to impact squarely. Now let's take lagging. Lagging is a term that is used for better players, and what happens there is the left arm has a tendency of accelerating more, and you can see the left wrist and club are lagging behind. Now what happens as you lag, as you reach impact, is now you're maximizing your angular wrist velocity coming into impact. Now let's talk about casting. Casting is something that occurs for higher handicap players and most higher handicap amateurs. They have a tendency of doing this, and a lot of it is because they pull their shoulder. And watch, as I pull my shoulder, my wrists release. Take a look at that club head. Whereas with a tour player, I'm down here. With a higher handicap player, I'm up here with the same action. Now I have all of this area in which I have to go to reach impact, and I am not maximizing that angular wrist velocity. What does this mean for the average player in the golf swing? We've done analysis. The robot behind me can duplicate any golf swing, and we can also duplicate any acceleration force. We deal with power, electricity, but all of us have a certain amount of power in our bodies. Let's say for our standard swing, we put in a certain amount of power at 100 miles an hour to square that club head. Now let's take a casting swing. Same amount of power, but now what we're doing is we're applying that power early, and that's what a player does, is by jerking, they cause that club head to come out. Same amount of power, but applying it early as opposed to square, and coming in, we'll swing at about 97 miles an hour. Now, let's look at a better player. Same amount of power, but we apply it later, maximizing the lag, we can swing 104 miles an hour. That's a 7-mile-an-hour swing with the exact same energy output. You don't need to go to the gym. You don't need to become more flexible. You just need to work on stationing your body and ultimately, more than likely, changing your swing path. All of these concepts that we've discussed in these video series are interrelated. And one of them on the outside in swing is, as you swing outside in, you also have a tendency of casting because your shoulder pulls your left arm, which causes the club to release. If you swing inside out, the club cannot release until the left arm slows down, and it maximizes lag. You have the potential of just going from a casting swing to a lag swing of a 7-mile-an-hour increase in club head speed, which, based upon your velocity, let's say an average swing of 92 miles per hour, can gain you an additional 25 yards in distance just by changing that factor.